Hey YouTube, well I'm back. It's Sunday, May 30th. Somebody's birthday, which is mine. Yay. No, I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about what's going on in the world. I was watching the news earlier today, and because I was trying to watch a movie, and then all of a sudden, the movie that was on got interrupted by the news, and it was the activists that are protesting in Minneapolis and why they were protesting. And I understand a lot of it because this is a hard topic because a lot of us may never really officially understand or grasp exactly what or it feels or what it is that it feels like fully because we're not like I don't know how to explain it. Like black people, all from the beginning have all, in general, everybody's been treated like crap. But I, I, I understand that black community and culture has been mistreated, and it's been proven, that they have. And a lot of things people think that, oh, it's the 2020 that has changed, and a lot of it hasn't. Down south in the areas like Georgia, Mississippi, and places like that, Minneapolis, it really hasn't. You still have a lot of people who believe in the old racial fashion way that, and it's really, really sad because racism hasn't really been gone for that long. It's only been like a few years. Like if you watch the movie that I mentioned last time, Just Mercy, that wasn't that very long ago. It's like in the 50s and 60s, and it wasn't, well, the only thing that bothers me is how they're protesting, and she was saying in her protest is because they're angry. I get it. We all are angry, and it's wrong what they did, and that young man deserves justice. Don't get me wrong. But breaking into different people's cars, like in not San Diego's, San Jose, they were breaking innocent people's windows, telling them to get out of their car, breaking their car, damaging people's cars that have nothing to do with this. It's like, no. To me, it's like you all took it too far. Okay, you can protest all you want and get mad at big corporations, but to destroy people's things, like mom and pop's restaurants or other places that have nothing to do with this, that probably don't even support that kind of violence or whatever. You see, this is why Martin Luther King and Julio Cesar Chavez and everybody else, they practice real protesting. They walk, they march, and they didn't use violence. And yes, you think that those people never changed anything. They did change a lot. But you know what hasn't changed is the American government. There's always going to be those people who are always going to think that they're above the law. And there's always going to be those people who are doing justful things. And you creating an environment or a hostile that is like that. I had to come video in my car because we're having like a dinner and everybody's in my house, like my parents. They made a dinner at their house, my house too. That's where I'm staying at, and they barbecued and everybody's there. So it's like I had to come find my quiet place. I felt like I had to say something because I don't want to see my son's generation like that. You know, we live in a diverse culture, and it's sad that people get attacked like that because this young man should have never died the way he died. I mean, that cop and all the other cops that were standing there are just as much as a murderer. They all murdered that young man just as much as that cop did. Even though they didn't put his physical hands on him, they still murdered that man because they watched it. They didn't do anything. Because when you become a cop, you serve and you pledge to serve and protect. You didn't even do your duty or your honor to serve and protect. You didn't even put that badge with honor and say, here I see this other officer going a little too far. Maybe we need to tell him, hey, to stop. I've seen another video that my friend posted about this lady. She was yelling, why the person that they were trying to detain, why he couldn't put his hands behind his back. He just had spinal back surgery, and he's like, can't put it back. He had spinal back problems, and she kept yelling, he just had spinal surgery. He just had spinal surgery, and they wouldn't hear him. She's like, I know you hear me. Sorry. And that's what she was saying in the video. And sometimes there's two sides to every story, but this story, there is no side. He just completely murdered someone in broad daylight, unjustifiable, and it happened to be a black man, and it wasn't right. Whether it was white, black, Hispanic, whatever color, it wasn't right. And people are angry. And I stand, and I may not be black, but this is what I tell people. You fully don't understand or will not ever fully grasp or understand what African Americans go through on a daily basis, because we don't experience that. We're not like people of color to where people are gonna, because I watched the video. No offense to Oprah, but she admitted it herself. She's like, I was walking down the street, walking my dog, and all of a sudden I see a black man. What does she do? She moves to the other side, because they automatically assume that he is an evil person, and that's what society has put. That, black people are loud, they're ghetto, and they're obnoxious, and they're not. I have beautiful cousins, amazing cousins that I may not associate myself with them because I don't know them too well, but I know their mom, their new parents, because they've lost both of their parents. They're both of their parents died at a young age. They're both 37 years old when they passed away. Their dad was African American. He was a black man, lived in Inglewood, and he has a big fat family, and they all get together and they're part of that. And my mom's uncle, which is their daughter who married that young black man, passed away of a heart attack. But his daughter gave birth to two beautiful women. And those girls are mixed, right? Biracial. So just like my son, he's biracial. But they're biracial, that you can tell that they're African American because they have their dad's skin tone color and they have their dad's hair. But they do have a lighter skin tone, so you can tell that they're mixed. And it's beautiful, It's just the only problem with that is, they get, sometimes within their own culture, they say they're not black enough or they're not Hispanic enough. And I know that because I don't look Mexican enough sometimes, they tell me. And they say that about, my younger brother. Oh, he's not Mexican enough. He doesn't speak Spanish enough, even though he looks like this big old beaner, and he can't even speak a little slick, which he can, but he doesn't speak it like fluently, like how a Mexican person from Mexico would speak it. You can tell that he would have an accent, but he still speaks it, and that's what we all have. We all put our own racism, and I feel like us standing up for each other and riot and anger is not going to solve the issue. Yeah, the American people hear you. I hear you. But when you're acting like a fool and going around burning buildings, you may have a right saying, yeah. And our governor, hasn't said much, but our own mayor said something, and I will post it on the video of what she had said, and I said kudos to her for standing up and saying something, and it was well said. She said, you can do your protesting, but you have to respect other people's property. Because after that, it doesn't become freedom of speech. It becomes a crime, and I agree. And it becomes vandalism. It does become a crime. Because you become a criminal, because you're creating vandalism. I truly get it. People are angry. And I would be too. And I am. Because it's not fair that this young man's life was taken when he didn't commit nothing wrong. And at the end, they try to, like his best friend said, cover up with trying to find something on his past. which he had nothing. And then what are they going to do? It was a slap in the face. They just barely arrested the gentleman, the cop. But why didn't they arrest the rest of them? Because they're all murderers. Because when you're a victim of something, when you're watching, it's like a bully. When you're at school and you're watching this kid make fun of another kid and you don't stand up for that kid, you're just as much as a bully, as big as that bully, as it is for that person. So if you're going to sit there and watch and not do nothing, that makes it just as worse as that person. And it doesn't make you any better of a citizen. And they all probably did get fired, but at the end of the day, they all should not just be fired. And now his wife, she just announced that she divorced him and she's divorcing him. You know, and that struck me as not a very loyal wife. Yeah, he committed a crime and he did something very hurtful and very hateful. And I think she might be doing it because she's scared for the lash that might come after her. And people are going to go maybe thinking they're going to go after her family. I hope not. Because she may not think the same way her husband does. Her husband has his own brain and he decided to make his own choices. And this man did his choices. He killed a person and now he has to live the consequences. Yeah, he's in jail, but a little too late. They shouldn't have arrested him and put him in custody that same day. It's sad that somebody had to stand there and videotape it. That it's sad that you can't just call the police on your phone instead of videotaping saying, hey, 911, what's your emergency? Because that is an emergency. Hey, I have a police officer here murdering an innocent victim here who, yes, happens to be of color. Because what are they going to do? They're probably going to go hang up on you or laugh at you, you think. And it shouldn't be that way. Because God created us all even. And if God didn't create us even, then, every man, including a white man, like I said before, would have a tail. I don't have 4 boobs and 6 eyeballs. I have the same amount of boobs as any other woman. I have the same amount of nose and the same amount of eyes. And my brain works just the same like everybody else. It just thinks different. But I have a brain and they have a brain. And our DNA is the only thing that changes us. That makes us different. So to me, it's stupid. People are out there protesting in the wrong way, and I feel like it's an insult to me. Not just to me, but to the people that were here before us, that marched. People fought real hard for injustice to be justified. And it's a hard topic because I feel like you got a right to be mad. But I don't feel like you got a right to vandalize everything. I feel like you got a right to march and let your voices be heard and be loud. But I don't think it makes sense to me, in my opinion, to vandalize things. If you want and disagree with me, that's totally fine. You can comment below. Tell me what you agree or disagree. But I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you guys are enjoying your weekend. It's really nice and it's like in the 80s. From going from 107 that we were 2 days ago to 89 with a nice breeze. It's just amazing. But the riots are going on here in my town. They did one yesterday. And they graffitied everything that they could. And then today they're still going to riot. And they were protesting, don't shoot, hands up, can't breathe, and stop, I can't breathe. And it's heartbreaking because I feel like when I see the riots that are happening in San Jose, they're breaking into innocent people's cars. You don't know if they have children in those cars. And they're in the freeway. And all they were trying to do was just go about their business. And they weren't even a part of the riots. All of a sudden, you get these people cussing and yelling and hitting in them and what are you getting at? They say they are not going to give no peace until they get justice. But what that's going to bring? You can't bring the young man back. And if you were to ask him from the dead and go to, if you believe in heaven and go ask him what he would think, I honestly, in my personal opinion, don't think he would be happy with you guys loitering and protesting that way. Because they said he was a Christian man, and I don't think he would be pleased with all that, you know? That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but I just think we need to all stop and think and protest in a different way. There is a lot of different things you guys can do. You guys can still shout and scream and yell at the top of your lungs and stuff and hold your signs and, but when you break into innocent, like Target, I understand what she said about Target when the activist was talking about how awesome, where were they when, and they were, I get it. I understand that part. I just don't get the violence. And I will never support the violence. Because at the end of the day, you're just proving people right. That you're a criminal and that's not what you are. Because you're making people believe that. More racist people are going to sit there and you're giving them more fuel. They have already won that battle. They have won that battle. People are angry. And you gave and the anger of that battle has been won by the people who are the racist people or the government, whoever you want to say. They've won that battle. They got their point across. They won because you already gave up by getting angry and fighting back like that. You have shown your weakness that they've won. Because that proves them, well, we should arrest them. They committed a crime. They're all crime. It's just like I said before, and I'll say it again. I just found somebody in my culture who was going around stealing stuff. Doesn't belong to him. And I caught them in broad daylight. And I was just like, wow, seriously? Like, you're really going to go and do that? Like, you're going to be that stupid and do that? Like, no. Like, somebody's either got to punch you in the face or somebody's got to say something. Well, I hope you guys all have a great weekend, and I hope you guys enjoy your guys' day, and have a great night. Bye, guys.